My first word of advice for anyone who has not seen Dune and is about to see Dune, get ready to have a clear head, clear your head, turn off your phones, and focus, because you are gonna get tested mentally and visually. Visually? How come? You take your eye off the ball for a couple of seconds, and it won't make sense anymore. The movie will never make sense again, unless you watch it a second time. Boy, what an ending. It really does give you the hint that there is going to be a part 2, because there is going to be a part 2. Dune is based on the series of best-selling books. But I don't want to talk too much about Dune, because I feel like spoiling it for everybody. I'm terrible, okay? I am terrible at keeping things to myself. So that's why I like to discuss movies with people who I know that have seen Dune or other films. Here's what I'm going to say about Dune, what I liked about it. The acting and the cinematography. The acting, whatever. All of them were A-list guys, including Timothée Chalamet, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, Oscar Isaac. I mean, the list can go on for the whole entire video! Josh Brolin. There's a scene in the movie where he's training with Timothée Chalamet with swords, and Josh Brolin has intense presence. Tense! So tense you can actually see veins popping in from his throat and onto his head, and I said, whew. I actually said, whew, in the theater when I saw Josh Brolin in that scene, because you could just feel his tense energy hitting the entire audience. Earlier today, before I went to see Dune, I asked a guy who I know is a regular at the theater, and I asked him, have you seen Dune? And he said, I did. And I asked him, did you like it? He said, no, too boring for me. I can see why. This movie has a drag. This movie has a drag to the climax battles, but the music is made to kind of muffle the sound of the fighting. For instance, there are scenes where there's explosions, and normally you'd hear this big... Well, the music doesn't do that. The music actually muffles it, kind of like a silencer. So instead of hearing this, you hear this big... It's muffled, faint. But you know what it would sound like in real life, because you see the explosions happening right in front of you. Now for the cinematography, wow. It felt like I was on a virtual ride in Disneyland. You know those virtual rides when you're sitting in a chair, right? You're in a chair and you put in your seatbelt and you kind of go, woo, 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 woo. Felt like that. That's how great the cinematography was. The only time I've ever seen cinematography like this, Blade Runner. The first one from 1982. I think I would love to buy this movie. Not on digital, on physical copy. Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. Because I will say this movie is worth adding to your collection. It is worth watching repeatedly, or if not relentlessly. I actually hope film schools show you this film. Why? Cinematography and visual effects. Because everyone will learn a thing or two from Dune. So, if you haven't seen Dune yet, go there, okay? Forget about what other people are telling you. Focus on what you think about it. Do you know how boring it would be if we all agreed on the same thing? Whether if it was on a movie, TV show, hair products, fountain pens. You know? I loved it. I loved Dune. I think it was the movie event of the year for sure. First one. The second one, for me personally, because me and so many others met Ron Perlman this year, Don't Look Up, with Ron Perlman, Jennifer Lawrence, and Leonardo DiCaprio. So, I will rate, no questions about it, 10 out of 10 film cameras for Dune. I loved it. Even though the music was quite loud, I still enjoyed it.